We open with the sound of a crowd cheering as we hear a muffled voice saying, Athena. Athena. Hey, Athena. Athena snaps out of it as the Skull Hunter says, Rita and Dex have been located. Athena says, show me. Outside the walls of Wyoming, we see Athena driving a big bus with a few other men with her, as we then see up the road these two people running down the road. As Athena sees them, as one of the soldiers says, we should bring him back, let Ragnar handle this. Athena says, no need. She speeds up and he says, Athena! She then runs them both over with the bus, as she then stops the bus and they are both on the ground in pain. As Athena walks up to them and she says, you're fighting for air. Fighting for your life. I can tell. Now you really think you can leave unannounced and steal from Ragnar? Why? Dex says, me and my sister were brought in by Jack. And now he's dead. Killed brutally by that psycho bitch leader of the West family. And Ragnar has some of them just fucking living with us. And expects us to live among them after they kill our people? We're not going back. Athena says, well, lucky for you, you won't have to come back. And me breaking your back like this is for the guy that took you in, who gave you a warm bed to sleep in, food, shelter, and this is how you repay us? You know what, I'll let you live. If you just say those two magical words. Dex says, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, don't twist the knife. As she then stabs him in the neck and says, apology unaccepted. As she proceeds to literally twist the knife, she then tells her men, nah, I call dibs. She shoots Rita in the head and ends her life as well. As she then says, get them loaded up. Ragnar's gonna want to see their faces. They get in and start heading back, as it then starts snowing. As she looks out at the snow falling down, as she looks happy and says, so beautiful. Back in Wyoming, we see Athena returning home with blood on the side of the bus, as we see a crowd of people in the streets with signs, as Athena says, get out of my fucking way. What the hell is going on here? One of the men says, I don't know. Pull into Ragnar's. Let's check on the boss. Ragnar is standing on the balcony with his arms crossed, as he then sees down below a crowd of people in the streets saying, we want justice! Ragnar says, I'm disappointed, Enforcer. He turns around to the Enforcer and says, do you have any idea how two people as strong as Ryder and Mara proved to be could just get out like that? Unless, of course, someone wasn't doing their job. Someone like that in charge of one of my settlements. Well, I may have just made a mistake now. Yep. I think I made a mistake. Do you think I made a mistake? Enforcer says, no. The snakes are following my orders, but they saw their opportunity and they left, and I will find them. Ragnar pats him on the head and says, I know you will, because you have to. When you find them, I want you to kill Mara for me. Make Ryder cry. We'll make him stronger that way. I got a feeling about that one. Oh, and Rexer will be taking your duties at the factory. You're coming back to work here in Wyoming. The enforcer says, yes. Yes, sir. We see Rob walking through the crowd of people in the streets. As we then see, he gets knocked down to the ground by one of them. As he then sees them just cheering, "We want justice! Bring the West family to justice!" Rob enters the building and sees a bunch of skull hunters inside. As Ragnar walks out and says, "Did you get a good look out there? Jeez. Jack gets killed, one of Wyoming's best surgeons, and now I got friends and family demanding that I bring them the widow's head." Rob asks, "How did he die?" Ragnar says, "Well, why do you care?" Rob says, "Because it's my friends they want." "I'd like to think that I'm just as involved in this as you are." Ragnar says, "Well, you really have put your big boy pants on today, Rob. I'll tell you how we found him. Apparently Jack was tied to a tree. By the looks of it, he was stabbed multiple times and was brutally executed by one of your people. Now, do you happen to know someone that's capable of doing an act like that?" Rob says, "Plenty, actually. You really think just because you got us in here, others won't rebel? Because Ragnar, that's exactly what you have here. A rebellion. Only question is, how will you handle it? Because the way I see it, if you don't do something soon, you can kiss this place goodbye. That's the problem with a place like this. You let it be peaceful for so long, eventually, that peace goes away. And the whole damn thing does after." Ragnar says, "Well, just like old times again, huh, Rob? People demanding to see us because they aren't happy with something, and we have to do this under protection, or it blows over." Rob looks pissed and says, "Well, difference is here, I ain't the head they want." We see Vel Hazer walks in and Rob says, "Oh, please, Vel, just don't say anything else to jeopardize our position here. It'll just make things worse for the rest of us." Vel still looks kind of scared and just says, "I didn't say anything." Rob looks a bit put off and says, "All right, well, what are you doing here?" Vel says, "Was walking the streets till I saw the crowd out there." The enforcer says, "Sir, we gotta do something about that." Ragnar says, "I know we gotta, damn it. I guess people need a little bit of a reminder of the home that they have, the home that I built for them. They're acting very ungrateful to me and what I've done for them. So I'm gonna handle this." He pulls out a gun and Athena steps in the way and says, "Ragnar, that's not how we're supposed to do this. It's not how we should do this." Ragnar says, "Well, apparently they've forgotten. So I'm gonna give them all a reminder. Make an example of what you do when you define my orders." Athena says, "No, you're not." As we see them just yelling back and forth as the enforcer gets involved too, and Vel tries speaking up and Ragnar says, "Stay out of this, Red. You just wait your turn." Rob sees how bad the room is getting as we see him start climbing up the stairs with his guitar. As he then walks out to the balcony on the top building. As the crowd just stops. And then he decides to play a song for everyone. Rob says, "Look, I came here with my friends about 2 weeks ago. I walked into this place thinking it was the end of my life. But it wasn't. This is so rare to see in a world like this. I've been thrown in cells, accused for things that I did to defend myself. I survived a horrible world for years. And that's not what you want, right? To defend yourselves? To make a difference? Well, let me tell you something. You did. Things are ugly inside this building right now. They don't know what to do about you. Things will be answered for, because they always are, in one way, shape, or form. Listen, you don't want to be out there. You'll either be alone, you'll meet people, you'll grow to care for them, hell, maybe even love. So one day, the world takes that away from you too. I lost my daughter because of this place. Ragnar brought me in, and now I'm here to tell you, though, that I miss her very much. And it led me here. And this place is unlike anything I've ever seen. So if you want justice, we'll get it for you. But not at the cost of this place. If we don't have to do this, if we don't have this, what do we have right now? There will be no justice. You'll be letting them win, because that is how you fall. So please, stand together with your loved ones, the ones you have, the ones you love. Stand with them until you can't. As we see, they applaud him. As we see Rob with a smile on his face, as he says under his breath, I still got it. He walks back downstairs to see everyone just looking at him. As he walks up to Ragnar and says, I did your job for you, boss. You're welcome. As he taps him on the shoulder and walks away. Later that night, we see the streets are clear and everyone has gone home. As we see Athena sees Rob sitting on the bench as she walks up to him and says, Where'd that come from? Rob says, What, that? I was a leader of people before. I know what they're going through, and feeling the loss is a tough thing to shape. Athena says, Oh, I know. And I know you, Rob Johnson. Well, as long as the crowd is cheering for you, that's all that matters, right? She starts walking away as Rob just sits there looking emotional. We see Athena walking into a big arena. As we see, it's dark. As we see, no one's in there. She hears something coming from the locker room, and she says, Hello? It's after hours. You should go home. It's past curfew. As she walks into the locker room, but as we see blood on the floor. As she pulls out her sword and says, Hello? Anyone in here? She then sees 2 dead bodies on the floor. Athena looks pissed, and then she sees in the corner of the room Holly sitting there with blood on her hands. As we see, she's shaking as Athena looks pissed and says, Holly, what did you do? As Holly is in a daze, as we see her hands are full of blood.